Guys, this is a twofold right now. Unfortunately, through my wall, I can hear this man. He is in full throat for about the past 5 minutes, just exploding on somebody who I'm guessing is the woman that he lives with. I don't really see them often, but he has lost all of his emotional control, all of it. And the voice of the other person is very just calm and relaxed, and it sounds like she's very measured, and this man has just abandoned some of the principles that you should have. And I'm just going to say, for manhood, he's lost it. And I get it, been there, and you have to grow over time to realize that that's what you've done, and you have to make changes to stay in control. No matter how displeased or upset you are about a circumstance, you don't make it better by doing that. But that's part one. Part two is I was browsing the Facebook, and somebody posted something about, ladies, to paraphrase, ladies, be careful who you get into a relationship with, and something about these sorry MFers. Be careful of a sorry MFer or something like that. But in both cases, this gentleman and that young lady on Facebook, you pick the person that you chose to get involved with. Now, do we always recognize the perfect person for us? Of course not. But you have to recognize that at some point, especially to this young lady, it's not about a sorry MFer. It's about you make sorry choices. Now, say sorry to yourself, pick up and move on. Okay, that's a three-part apology. Three-part apology. If you think that they're sorry, that means you've picked sorry. Now say sorry to yourself and move on. But don't make it about them. Make it about the growth that you need to have to recognize better. It's no different than if you were continuing to, I don't know, buy used cars because you couldn't afford a new one, but each one you always bought like a lemon, or you found that you kept getting taken, or people that click the wrong links on on online shopping and end up getting their accounts hacked and things like that. When that happens a few times over, it's not the hackers, it's you. Stop clicking particular links. Stop clicking on things that look attractive to a certain way in your mind. That means there's something that you have to change. So again, that three-part apology. If you think that person is sorry, then that means you've picked sorry. So say sorry to yourself, learn from it, grow, and move on. This gentleman, same thing. If he feels that he has been wronged by somebody, well, okay, so you picked sorry. If that's the case, maybe he didn't. Maybe he's just done something, but in either case, what this should end up with is the acknowledgement that something was sorry. So that means you've put yourself in a sorry position. Now apologize for being sorry. So in his case, he could have acted in such a sorry way. So he needs to apologize to himself, learn and grow and move on from it. But you can't continue to point a finger outward. What's the old saying? Let me try this. When you point one finger, three point back. 1, 2, 3. They're pointing back at me. So that generally means that there's more work for us to do internally, even when we have to deal with something externally. Now, a lot of times I will absolutely say people are just straight up victimized and have to survive a lot of incidents, but most of the time it's not out of the blue, or over a certain amount of time it has been, okay, this wasn't out of the blue. This continued to happen. So you have to apologize to yourself in the end, learn and grow from it. But you can't keep pointing the finger at somebody else just to wear it as a crown of thorns, so to speak, to say, well, this is what I had to go through. Cool, that is. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people that have gone through something similar who didn't make it their complete identity. Certainly, we can tell our stories, and I think that that's an important piece to it. But whether you are raging out of control, like this gentleman, or whether you are passively aggressively posting behind somebody else's back, because the person she's talking about, that guy doesn't know that he's being called a sorry MFer. And honestly, I don't necessarily take her word for it. Just like if I were to go outside, check the mail, and this guy started yelling to me about, what, she's doing, I can't take his complete side. That would be reckless for any of us to do, guys, even when it's your friends and family. Get the whole story, because a lot of times, most of the time, there's, what is it? Their side, the other person's side, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. So make sure you do your due diligence. That's the best way you can help somebody, is to know the real story. Is to know the absolute real story as to what's going on. But before you just start dogpiling and, oh, he is a sorry MFer, or if I said, yeah, I can't believe she did that, then you got to understand that's work that they got to do for themselves. We can certainly be here to listen and let them vent or post, whatever it is, but logic should circulate within us all, especially if we're not in it. If I'm not in the storm, I can see it way more clearly than that person can. So it's unfortunate, but it's part of life. But it's something that we all should recognize, that a lot of times once you have said, like, this person is no longer for me, cool, no problem. We're entitled to that. We're allowed to have that. But sometimes you got to be able to say, like, there's something more I should learn about this, rather than just project it onto somebody else and it was their fault. I don't know of too many breakups where it is absolutely just one person's fault. Although sometimes optics can look like it. But I'm going to leave it at that. I didn't have a whole lot on it, but I just thought it was extremely interesting for this young lady to post about a sorry MFer, but as if she has no accountability in her pick, and that she has yet to apologize to herself. That should have been the post. And this gentleman has stopped yelling, so I'm glad that at least it has calmed down, and hopefully he's able to start thinking a little bit better, and whatever moves that he has to make from that moment, he can make. But again, I've been there. I've been there in both circumstances, and I got way more out of it once I started self-reflecting. Guys, it starts within. So reflect, don't project. And there's a whole nother video on that, and maybe I can post that here or here, and you guys can click the tag on that so you understand it starts from within. So I'm going to leave it at that, but guys, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, what your ace up the sleeve, your advice, comment, experience on something like this. And I hope this finds everybody in your place, pursuit or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. Peace, love, unity, solidarity, and as always, subscriptions and videos. So stick around. And I will say that this might be a little laggy, so just bear with the old school mouth not matching the audio.